It's a new week in the Crew Motorfest, and this week's theme is called US Showboating, and this is my summit guide. Let's go. Real quick before we get into it, if you're looking for any of my Motorfest tunes, you can go to militiagamingco.com, click on Motorfest Pro Settings from the navigation menu, and that takes you to the Pro Settings app. It has my tunes, it has Acor's, it has a few others. Just go over there and check that out if you're looking for a tune. All right, let's get into the Summit. First, let's talk about the cars. In the Summit bundle, you're going to get the Saleen S7 Twin Turbo Glacier Edition and the Chevrolet Corvette C7 ZR1 Convertible. Both cars you're going to need for the Summit. In addition to that, you're going to need the Bugatti 110, the C7 Long Range Edition, the Ford GT, and then you'll need a boat and a rally car. And both the boat and the rally car need to have score breaker with skilled as the affix. And if you're not sure what that is, check it out on screen here. Score breaker is the set bonus and skilled is the affix. You can re-roll your affixes as many times as you want. All right, the keys to this summit, there's really only one key to this summit, and that is clean driving. It's a modifier that we have for this week for all 6 of the events. Does not include the feats, but clean driving makes you have to take different lines. You cannot take a lot of shortcuts that require you to go through really heavy stuff like bushes or pylons or different breakable fences or literally anything. You cannot hit anything in these races. It is crazy important. You start out with an extra 40,000 points in these races, and every little thing that you hit, depending on how fast you're going when you hit it, you will be docked points, and those points are added to your time at the end of the race. So you have to drive clean, and because of that, it requires you to drive a little bit slower, and I'll show you that in some of the events. But basically, you just have to drive clean. That is the whole key to this summit. Anyways, here are the pro settings for the vehicles I just mentioned. All right, the first event is called Elegant Ride, and for this one we're using this Saleen S7. It is a loaner car, so you don't have to worry about pro settings or anything like that. It's literally just like a stock car. Anyways, for this race, it's fairly long and there's not a whole lot of shortcuts. In fact, there's only one spot really that I would recommend taking a shortcut, and it's at 52%. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fast forward to that and show you the cut. It's very, very short, easy, and it's safe. So let's go. All right, so the cut happens on this left-hander at 52%. Notice you don't hit any poles, you don't hit the tree, you don't hit a pole exiting, don't hit anything. It's really important not to hit anything in these races. Notice I still have 40,000 points as my clean driving bonus, and I keep that until one of the last turns in this race, and I think I hit, like, I just barely dink a pole, and I lose 2 points. Let me fast forward real quick. Yes, right here on this right-hander. Barely touched the pole, -2. And that's all of the points that I lost for this race. So that's what you want to do. Don't hit anything. If it makes you drive a little slower, that's what this summit is all about. Anyways, next event. All right, the next event is called Fancy Machine. This one we're using the Bugatti 110, and it just makes a lot of sense to have this event on 1 out of 5 difficulty, so you can get out in front of those AI really quickly like I did there. Just helps you with your clean driving. If you even touch the AI, they will dock you some points. Now, this right here was a good example of what I was trying to get to. I just kept talking too much to get to it before the turn. Anyways, now generally going up these hills, you want to take these gutters because it helps you take the turn faster. However, on the inside corner of all these gutters, there's a checkpoint flag. So you have to avoid that flag, because if you don't, you're going to dock yourself a couple thousand points or 1,500 points every time you hit a checkpoint flag. So what I do is jump in the gutter, and then jump out, and then try to return to it. It's still slower than if you were to just fully gutter that corner, but it does help you on the inside of the turn. If you can hit that gutter early and then jump out of it, it'll definitely help you take the turn. Obviously, don't hit the wall like I did there. A simple tap docks you 500 points. In the gutter, out of the gutter, and then if you can jump back in, go ahead and jump back in. I do it pretty much throughout all of these turns. It just means driving slower. It is what it is at this point. Anyways, there's a couple of things you can do in terms of cuts. I'll fast forward to those. All right, at the end of this straight, you can cut the corner to the right. There's no breakables, easy peasy, and then cut it again when you follow up there. Just don't lose traction and hit the wall like I did. That cost me 1,800 points. 1,800. It's crazy, man. And then on this last turn, I think I went a little bit too far inside. Hit the checkpoint flag, another 1,400, just like that. 3,000 less points on the summit because of that checkpoint flag and that wall tap. You got to remain clean. If I would have driven just slightly slower, would have had more points. Anyways, that's it for this one. Let's move on. All right, this next event is called Swank Car, and on this one, I do recommend having it in 1 out of 5 difficulty. It makes it easier to pass these guys. Stay right and pass the Corvette. Stay left and pass the Ford GT. If you touch either one of them, you're gonna get points docked off your clean driving bonus, so just don't do that. Now on this first corner, you can cut this right after this green sign. You go across the dirt. Just make sure you stay to the right of the flag and don't hit the flag. Stay to the right of it. It'll still give you credit for the checkpoint. You can also just take it normally if you want, but I don't know. I thought it was better to cut it. Now, if we move forward, all of this is just clean driving. Just clean driving, don't hit anything. But there is one other place where I took a little bit of a chance, and I don't know that it paid off necessarily, but it definitely made me feel better about not having shortcuts in these races. Let's fast forward. You'll probably recognize this from the grand races, but after this right-hander, you can actually cut across this parking lot. There is an opening in the gate right there. So if you feel comfortable hitting this opening, you should go ahead and go for it. The only thing is, if you're going for a perfect clean driving bonus, you're not going to get it if you take this shortcut, because there's a trash can on the outside of this that I hit right there. So that was minus 800. I decided that that minus 800 was worth it to take that corner like I like to take the corner. It is what it is, man. Just stay on the road if that's what you want to do. Outside of that, that's it for this one. All right, the next one is called Trendy Vehicle, and on this one, this is a tough one, man. I don't really know exactly how to advise you guys, but I'm going to show you exactly what I did. We can go from there. So at the start here, this is a tough one because all these guys are going to dive to this, you know, the apex of this turn. I just caught it. I went across the grass and avoided the poles and avoided the AI. I thought that was the best way to do it. You don't lose any points by going across the grass. You only lose points for hitting things. So anyways, let's fast forward to some of the cuts that I took. Here at 20%, I go left underneath this tree. Still no clean driving bonus taken yet, but I will lose a little bit of it here. After this tree, I turn right a little, got a little bit in the water there, and then you reset. I only lost about 500 points, but I think that one was worth it. That cut's definitely a time saver. Now on this one, I go up the hill, nos through here, go as fast as I possibly can. I lost 1,000, I lost 3,200. Then you reset when you jump off the mountain. On this stuff, I stayed on the road basically from here on out, but let me just fast forward to make sure. After this bridge at 75%, I actually took the cut on the left. It was open, there weren't any poles or anything to break, so I went ahead and took that. Then at 83%, I went across the beach. I found this to be just slightly faster. I didn't go that fast through the cut, but it definitely helps save a little bit of time. And as I'm fast forwarding through here, I'm noticing that's it for this one, man. A couple of cuts. You can decide if you want to take them or not. And I think it's worth it. I think it's worth losing the points. You're going to lose about 3,000 points, but you'll get to the finish line probably 20, 30 seconds faster. So anyways, try it both ways and see what happens. I ended up with 175,000 on that particular run. That's a really good score for this race. So anyways, let's move on. All right, this next event is called Fashion Drive, and this is one of my test courses, staying ahead. So there's one thing in particular that I want to warn you about. Obviously, the theme of this summit is to stay clean, don't hit anything. However, on this particular race, NOS management is really important. And it's important on almost every race, but it's important to be patient with your NOS because you need it in certain spots. Some of these spots, the track is very long and straight, and you want to be going full speed in those spots, and you can't do that if you're not using your NOS properly. Anyways, tap your NOS and keep it in the blue. You don't want to be dragging that NOS all the way into the bottom half of the NOS gauge. You want to keep it in the blue. And honestly, this was not even a clean run. You can see by the background gameplay, I had a little bit of an issue with that corner. It matters more the clean driving than the, is that how you say things? It matters more. No, the clean driving matters more than the actual speed that you're going. Obviously, try not to hit flags. Don't hit anything. Anyways, that's it, man. There's really no cuts on this race. Let's move on. All right, and the last event is called Chic Auto, and for this one we're in the ZR1 Long Range Edition. And my advice is just to be patient here at the beginning so you don't come in contact with any of the AI, and then I mean they'll drive off on their own like that. This is just kiss me combi, man. This is a race that almost everybody has done a million times. Literally just stay on the track. It's a very simple race. There's no cuts in it, especially with the clean driving bonus. You don't need to cut anything. You don't want to go across the grass or anything like that. Just drive it straight up, do the best you can, and I'm sorry I don't have any better advice for you. All right, let's move on to the feats. All right, starting with the bullseye, you're going to start out in your boat. Obviously, you're going through the bullseyes. That's the whole objective here. And just make sure you have score breaker with skilled on both the boat and your car that you're going to be using. I recommend a rally car. So I'm using the new Delta S4. But set up your transition a little early. Switch into your car. And try to stay to the left a little bit because you end up missing that one for some reason. And that's it, man. There's really nothing else to it. Obviously, don't almost hit the building like I did, and you should be good to go. All right, next let's talk about the escape. For this one, you're going to switch into a plane. You're going to fly over the checkpoint. Don't start it. And then switch back into a car. Just allows you to start this from the opposite side. Let's fast forward a little bit. All right, now that we're starting this from the opposite side, get some speed. This is going to be a guaranteed way to get 154,000. When you get to this turn down here, this is a really tricky, sort of tough right-hander. You don't need to stay on this bridge at all. I've seen some people go through here and then switch to a plane and then get back on the freeway. You don't need to do that. All you need to do is follow this curve slightly, head for this break in the trees right here, and then turn right and air nos. This puts you on a path going straight towards the freeway. Now, I made the mistake of going too hot into this left-hand corner, and I hit the tree. But let me fast forward to my other run. On this run, I went a little too far to the left. I hit the wrong tree gap. So that ended me up on the hill here, and then I had to come down, and it lost me a little bit of speed. Although, even losing that speed, I still ended up getting 154,000 because you can just jump on this freeway, blast your NOS, get up to top speed, and you can outrun this circle all the way to the top of this hill. Check this out. The only issue with this method is that you're pretty much capped out at this corner here. It's about as far as you're going to go with this particular method. It's almost impossible to get through those tunnels while, you know, still outrunning the circle because you just can't get to the freeway fast enough. This is not the world record path, but this path just to that corner, 6,200 yards, gets you 154,000. And I think that's going to be good enough for a lot of people. So anyways, that's what I recommend. All right, lastly, let's talk about the speed trap. There's really nothing tricky to this. You need a dragster, you need nitro chemist, and you need pure with frenetic as your affixes. If you have that, you can get somewhere around 300 miles per hour. However, I'm not that good at dragsters or speed traps, and I just settled for 283. Some other people have over 300 miles per hour. I think the record is like 329 or close to 330. So it's possible, and they're literally just going straight into this tunnel and then blasting the NOS and probably slipstreaming, maybe not. I'm not sure, to be honest with you, but there's not really a great way to do this. So I just start out like this. I make the turn kind of slow, blast the NOS, and shift into fifth. There you go, 283. And 283 is okay. Gives you 136,000 points. Should be plenty for the summit. All right, here are my final scores. If you have any questions about anything, don't hesitate to send me a DM. My content is meant to be helpful. I'm trying to help you, and I will definitely help in the direct messages, either on Discord or Instagram. Just send me a message. I'll answer it. I read every single one that comes my way. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this helps. I will catch you on the next one. Trigger out.